Hello and welcome to On the Rocks, a BRTFC Supporters Club podcast where we discuss all things BRTFC, and I'm your host Liam Goodley. This broadcast and our club are sponsored by Reynolds Furniture. Visit their store on 27 to 31 High Street, Bognor Regis today, or log on to their website www.reynoldsfurniture.co.uk for more details on a fantastic local service they can offer you. I am joined today by a special guest. He is a former Rocks player, and I'm pleased to say I managed to catch up with him today. He terrorises defences with his speed and his crossing ability and has defenders eating his dust when on the pitch. I call him affectionately from the terraces, Hoppo. Welcome to the one and only Aaron Hopkinson. Thanks for joining me, Aaron. How are you?
Yeah, thank you, mate. Not too bad, thanks. Yourself, you keeping well?
Yeah, a bit bored now because obviously I've been off for about a month now with the pandemic. Obviously we'll speak about that, but I thought I'd do more reading, but it hasn't been that way. I've been playing a lot of games and, just basically chilling out, listening to music and things as much as I can. I've been on furlough since the 23rd of March. I don't know about yourself, but we'll talk about that, and obviously appreciate you joining me today.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for inviting me on, mate. Thank you.
So first and foremost, obviously, we wanted to get this out of the way. I know you wanted to just touch on the reasoning behind your departure from the club this earlier this season. I know it's not something you can go into too much detail on, but could you just clarify what happened this past season to you and why you had to leave the club?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, really. What happened? So Jack pulled me after training one evening and just showed me an email that the club had received from the FA, and basically they just found some bets that I'd placed from sort of 2014, 2015. I think some in 2016. So they said they were going to investigate into it, and it was kind of left with that. But obviously Jack, in his position within the FA, straight away he kind of just said, "Look, I can't be seen to pick you if obviously that's what's been accused." And I totally understand that from Jack's position and his role within the FA, as he's probably had a big part in rolling out these betting rules. But yeah, it's all been dealt with now. Unfortunately, I've got a 6-month ban and a fine. But the blessing in disguise is the ban has already started, so it's not too bad. Obviously, I'm not missing much football at the minute, so it's not too bad. It was a bit of a shock. Popped up from sort of 5-6 years ago. Really random. But it is what it is. Learned the lesson, and hopefully just draw a line on it and move on now.
Yeah, so the 6 months, when did that start?
Started about 3 weeks ago now.
Okay, so it continues even though there's no football on at the moment. That continues anyway. I did. One of the things I was going to ask you was obviously you got affected by the pandemic that we've got at the moment, whether it got put back, this whole investigation, but obviously it started before it all happened. So
when I was sort of in contact with the FA, it was I was sort of keen to try and get it done and dusted quickly. They did say I could have had a hearing at Wembley, but obviously I would have had to wait until this was all done. So I just sort of done what they call a paper hearing. So it was all done pretty quickly, and it was done over a Zoom call, and it got dealt with there and then. So I'm glad it started. It's not ideal, but as I said, draw a line under it and hopefully move on.
Are you kicking yourself after it happened, or when after?
I look back and think, it's a bit stupid. But you live and learn, I guess. I was young at the time, and I think the rules only got sort of rolled out in 2014, a week before the season started. So God knows how many sort of players, non-league players, are still doing it there and then, and the FA at the moment are catching quite a few players out. So I know there's something they're really clamping down on now. So I probably won't be the first, and I definitely won't be the last.
Do you think there's a lack of knowledge about the rule on gambling? And
not anymore. Not anymore. I think at that time, when it started in 2014, I think at the time there was definitely a lack of knowledge, 100%. Especially with sort of our level, sort of step-free non-league, because it's actually a blanket ban on all football. And at the time, I don't think many players were aware of that, or they thought it didn't apply to them, these rules. So I definitely think at first, the first couple of years, there was probably a lack of lack of understanding. But I think now these days it's very, I think it is pushed out to clubs, and there's talks about it and stuff like that. So I think everyone's aware now. But yeah, as I say, back then it was a sort of lack of education, really.
So we're talking, so it's a 6-month ban. So you're looking obviously to be back, obviously next season.
Yeah.
But at the moment, obviously looking into your personal life, how's your life been, obviously since that, and then since the pandemic's been about?
Yeah, a bit of a weird one, really. Just obviously it's an odd time for everyone at the moment. I'm actually isolating up with a friend up in Ipswich, because I sort of would have been by myself, and he lives up here now, so he would have been by himself. So yeah, we're just isolating together, really. It's not too bad. Just a bit of fitness work. We've luckily got a gym in the house, so doing bits and pieces and barbecues and stuff like that. So yeah, it could be worse, to be fair. I'm not working at the moment, obviously. So yeah, it's not too bad, but I think it's sort of getting to the stage now where just sort of want this all to be done and dusted, and everyone can carry on with their lives, really.
Yeah. So have you been on furlough for a while now?
Yeah, I got furloughed about 2 weeks ago now. So I was working from home for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and yeah, the last couple of weeks I've been furloughed.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's affected obviously a lot of people, even if they are office-based work, they're trying to do work at home. And then I was even told my job, a lot of my work's done on a computer, but I was told straight, point blank, you can't do any more work, otherwise you won't get your furlough money.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Very complicated, but I think a lot of people are obviously used to being off now, and it's going to be very strange when we do return back to normal.
Yeah, I think this is something which will change and shape how the whole world. I don't think anything will ever go back to normal. I think this is such a huge thing that there'll be so many changes from this.
Yeah.
And I think positive changes from this. And yeah, I just think it will change the whole way the government looks at things, and maybe things are done in the future. Who knows? Yeah,
I agree with that, and hopefully, things will, like you say, improve for the better. Obviously, looking onto your football career, Aaron, I remember fondly your wonder goal at Weymouth a few years back, when you smashed in that unstoppable strike to help us to draw against Weymouth to settle the replay in the FA Cup. Do you remember that? And if so, what are your memories from that day?
Yeah, it was a funny one that day, actually. It was. I always remember. I think I turned up late for the game because I drove up separately because I was heading off up north after the game, but. Yeah, so I always remember I turned up a little bit late, I think, and obviously Weymouth were a big club, and we wanted to have a good FA Cup run, and Weymouth were a good team, and I think first half we started off a bit shaky. I think we went in 0-0 at half time, I believe. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but second half we come out and sort of I think Ben Johnson scored a penalty, I think.
Yeah.
I think I got fouled for the penalty as well. And then obviously the other goal. And then, it all come crashing down. I think I went to pass one back to Zadders, I think it was at the time, or the centre-half. And I remember the ball getting cut out, and then they scored 2-1. And then I think they got their equaliser in there was a few minutes to go. So we went from a comfortable position to sort of throwing it away, which was disappointing.
Do you find games like that was the tensions higher because it's FA Cup?
Maybe, yeah. And I think when also you're 2-0 up, and you're sort of cruising, and then obviously it goes to 2-1, it's kind of all a bit nervous away from home. They've got the crowd backing them, and they're sort of all guns blazing going for it. You're always going to be on the back foot then, so... And unfortunately, we conceded that goal. And then we had the replay on the Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, and it was a rather forgettable one, though, wasn't it, the replay, unfortunately. Good, strong, physical side, weren't they, Weymouth, at the time?
Yeah, they beat us up. They really beat us up. I think it went extra time. I think we had to do extra time with 10 men. I think Tucky got sent off, I think, that day. and yeah, they were a very big, strong, physical team. So
yeah, I always remember your goal there, and it always stands out as one of your best goals I've seen for you from your point, scoring for Bognor, and I had a good view of it because I was in the main big stand, a really massive stand they got there at Weymouth.
Yeah,
we were right at the back, and we saw it,
yeah.
and we thought, oh, what a goal, sort of thing, you know, and everybody celebrated.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. It's one of my better ones, definitely.
Yeah. So when you do return to a changed Bognor side, obviously you've come back twice now. So obviously you've come back this past season. Do you find it hard to get used to the new personnel, or does it come naturally to you to fit in the dressing room at Bognor?
I think, to be honest, I've been. You could probably say I've been a bit of a journeyman, to be honest, which you can overlook as a good or a bad thing. But I think I've been in so many different changing rooms. I think I can just adapt. I've dealt with so many different characters and played in different locations and get different personalities in different places, and I think I'm able to adapt. And I mean, the lads there are great anyway, so they're all lovely lads. And obviously coming back with, you've got 4 or 5 that are already there from when I was there before.
So like Tucky and Harvey and...
Tucky, Harvey, Craney.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously familiar faces. But no, good set of lads, and yeah, it was sort of fitted in quite quickly, to be honest.
No, I think it's always worked well when you've come back. When not at the football, running your socks off, what do you like to do in your spare time? Are there any hobbies that people might not know you have that you could share with us?
Cool. To be honest, I'm either working or I'm football. I'm a physio as well, part-time at Brighton in the academy. Right. And then obviously I do my TV and commercial stuff whenever that comes up. So really, there's not a lot of time. Sort of training 2 nights a week, working all week in the gym if I can. So yeah, just I don't really have time for much else, to be honest. No,
it sounds like a busy sort of time you have during your life whenever either you're working or you're at football, or you've got something that just keeps you busy, 24/7 really. Throughout your footballing career, you have always given 100%, and I think a lot of the fans would agree with that. How important was it to you to prove yourself on the pitch to Robbie Blake and Jack Pearce when you came back to Bognor this past season?
Yeah, it was important, to be fair, because I think obviously I'd had a few years away from trying the Premier level for various different reasons. So to sort of come back, I had to try and prove a point and sort of get myself into the team. Obviously, Robbie hadn't seen me before. Jack had obviously seen me play, but that was quite a while back, and I was probably a bit fitter and sharper then. So yeah, it was obviously important for me to come in and try and make an impression. It was quite hard, to be honest, because obviously I didn't really get the game time and the minutes as much as I would have liked. But yeah, no, it was obviously important to come in and try and make an impression and get myself into the team.
I think you did that towards the end of the stint that you had with us this season. I think you were gradually starting to get some first-team football.
Yeah.
You were mainly coming off the bench with 30 minutes to go. They would bring you on, but I think towards the end they were starting to really involve you in.
Yeah, agreed. I think it started off sort of squad player, come off 10, 15, see the game out, or not even get on at all. Then it sort of, as you say, progressed to sort of coming on half-time or half hour, and then got to the point where I started, and then and unfortunately, obviously, this FA thing happened. But I think obviously, if I was still around and hung around, I probably would have. I would like to think I would have been a regular starter to the end of the season. Yeah,
no, I think it was personally my view was when I look from outside that it looks like that they're not picking you because you weren't 100% fit, and I think that was the viewpoint from fans' point of view for a lot of the games that you might have started on the bench. We think, well, why isn't Hopkinson playing? But it's actually because he's not fit or he's not 100%, ready to go.
No, I agree, and I think it showed in that the Kingstonian game. I think that was only my 3rd or 4th start, and I only got through 65, 70 minutes before cramping up. So yeah, not as sharp or as fit as I could. Training was sharp, which helps, but it's still not the same as playing games and getting minutes.
Yeah. You must have played with and against some top players in your career, Aaron. First, in your opinion, who is the best player you have played with so far in your career?
Cool. Good question. Well, played with lads like Steve Cook, who's now captain of Bournemouth, and obviously Lewis Dunk, who's obviously captain of Brighton. They've gone on and done really good things. But probably the one who stands out for me is probably David Wheeler.
David Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah, when we was at Lewis, he was frightening. He could just sort of change the game within a second. He was a quick, direct winger, and yeah, as I said, he could change the game within a second. He has pace, power, glide past players, and yeah, he was really good. And he was someone you sort of sometimes you get special players in a team, and you think if we can get a result here, like it will be down to this player. And he was really good. And he's gone on to do well for himself. I think he went to Exeter. Right. Then got a move to QPR, played a few games in the Championship QPR, I think got loaned to Portsmouth for a bit, and he's now at Wycombe. So he's done quite well for himself.
Wow. So the same sort of question, really, Aaron. Who is the best player you faced as an opponent in the years past?
Probably one that... There's a couple. J. Emmanuel Thomas.
Yeah.
We had a game against Arsenal, and he was frightening, things he could do with the ball. It's a bit of a shame, really, that he's not really gone on to do things that he probably should have gone to.
Yeah, you find that with players sometimes they just don't quite make the grade, and then they seem to lose interest, or they don't make it at the big time.
Exactly that. But I think the main one for me, I think John Joe Shelby, when he was coming for a Charlton, he was good. But the main one would be Wilfred Zaha. He was frightening. He's always
been a favoured player of mine when I look at the Premier League. He's one of those players that was gonna cause you problems.
Yeah, it's scary really how he makes Premier League players look silly. So you can imagine what he's done to us when we played against him. I was at Lewis at the time. We played Palace, brought down a first team for a pre-season friendly. And yeah, he was. Never seen someone move so quick on a football pitch, to be honest.
He's still there, isn't he? At Crystal Palace.
He's still there. Yeah.
I know he's usually a first team player as well. He's usually one of the first on the team sheet. Him with Benteke, I think.
Yeah, he's. I'd be surprised if he stays there for the rest of his career. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes to another sort of top 5 or 6 side.
No, I wouldn't put it past you there for that. And I saw you recently in a Football Manager advert. How did that come to pass? And this must have been a really cool experience for you to be the face of such a popular computer game.
Yeah, no, it was really good actually. I do, as I mentioned earlier, I do bits like sort of TV and commercial modelling work anyway. And yeah, just got a call one day from my agency saying, would you be available for these dates? And these dates we're going to put you forward. Agency even said at the time that it's quite a big role. There's not going to be many there's not going to be sort of many picks. It's one person. But I think just from my agency they put like 20, 25 forward, and then you've got to think there's God knows how many other agencies that will put in their people forward. And then randomly got a call and they're like, got some great news. They picked you. So wow. I was like, great, brilliant. And then it was just like next week you got a day in London and then 2 days in France. So I was like, oh, happy days. But I didn't really realise at the time of how kind of big it would be.
No.
It was only when it come out and I kept seeing it everywhere and seeing it on the telly. I realised how sort of what a big deal it was really.
I saw it myself on Facebook. I think that's where I saw the advert. It was on there, and I said, "Ken, look." Yeah. So I showed Ken. I said, oh, "Look at this! Isn't that Aaron Hopkinson?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, cool! That's a big deal. That's Football Manager." And basically, it was quite a long advert as well. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. Could be 3 minutes, I think, showing you what the game is all about. That was the 2020 one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the one that's just come out. Yeah. So no, it's really good experience, and I'm very very grateful for it.
Does that mean you get more business out of that after doing such a high profile game, or is it hard in that sort of area?
Yeah, it's really hard to be honest. These things come on sort of few and far between. I've only had one one since, ironically, for Bet365. So yeah, it's few and far between. Everything's sort of halted at the minute anyway. So hopefully, when this sort of COVID situation's sorted, then hopefully I'll get a few more jobs.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you will. If there was someone in the dressing room you could go and talk to about personal issues, who would it be and why? Would you consider this person to be a close friend?
God, some great lads. Obviously, I used to travel in with Tucky, so we used to have some good chats in the car and stuff like that. Not just sort of football stuff and just life and stuff like that. So we used to have some good conversations. Craney, someone I'd say this time around really sort of got a good relationship. Really, I'd say the first time at Bognor, obviously we got on and stuff like that. But I'd say this time we really sort of built a good relationship, and we're still in touch now and again now. I went down to watch one of his school teams play the other few months ago when they were playing near my house and stuff like that. So Craney's probably someone as well, and then obviously Harvey. Harvey's a big character in the changing room. Skipper.
Would you say do you think he's a good captain?
Yeah, he's a great captain. Yeah, he's a great captain. I think a good captain bridges the gap between the management and the players, and I think Harvey gets his spot on, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he leads by example on the pitch as well. So yeah, no, Harvey's a great skipper. No,
he comes across like he really wears his heart on his sleeve when he plays, and I think that comes across on the pitch, every game. And I think he does obviously. He goes in for the hard tackles, and we like to see that. But he really does wear his heart on his sleeve, and he is passionate about the team. I think.
Yeah, no, he's a top lad. And I think it'd only be if he left Bognor, people really appreciate how important he is to the team.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with that. Could you describe your most memorable moment so far in a Bognor shirt and your feelings when this happened?
There's a couple, to be fair. One for me would be, I think, do you know what? One would be, as I said, I'm going to try and be open and honest as possible. It's a really random one. It was only like 6 games into the season or 5 games into the season in the first spell.
Yeah.
I think we'd lost like the first 5 games, I think. Jamie was manager. And after we played Lowestoft away, me and Jamie had a bit of a fallout, and no one will know this, but I nearly left after sort of 4 or 5 games.
Right.
But obviously we sorted things out, and I think we then had Met Police at home on a Saturday. And I don't think we'd won a game. So this was sort of a home game, and it was quite a bit of pressure really to get a result. To see what had happened, to try and prove a point. And I think we won 2-0 in the end. I think I set both goals up. I think. And we won 2-0, played well, and we obviously got first 3 points on the board. So that was a good moment for me personally, because that was a relief. And then it's like, right, now we can kick on. And I think then after that we went something stupid, like 20 games without even losing, or something stupid.
Was that the promotion season?
That was the season we finished second, I think.
Oh.
I think Wildstone run away with it.
That's right.
I think we come second or third, and then we lost to Lowestoft in the playoffs at home.
Yeah. Playoffs are a real killer, aren't they? I mean,
they are a killer. But I look at it and I think that season you had teams like Dulwich Hamlet and Maidstone that didn't even get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's how strong the league was back then. Teams like Tunbridge Angels, Leiston, Staines, again, not even in the playoffs. So that's how strong the league used to be. And I don't think the league's as strong as it was back then.
But you'd consider that game against Met Police as one of your...
That one, personally, but another one would probably be Dulwich Hamlet at home. I think, again, we're both there or thereabouts. I think we were 2-1 down with about 10-15 minutes left. And we ended up winning 4-2, I believe.
That's right. Brilliant game, yeah.
That was a good one. And the other one probably was Grays Athletic. I think we were 3-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
We were either 3-0 or 3-1 down at half time. We went on to win 4-3, and I got the winner towards the end, which was nice.
Yeah, it's always the bonus, isn't it, if you can get the winning goal.
Yeah, so that was they're all good. They're all good memories.
No, that's great. And do your family come to watch you play games? And how important is it for you if any family member comes and watches you play on the field?
Yeah, so first time round when I was playing regularly, I used to get my mum, my nan, sister would come along now and again. My dad would obviously come. This time round, to be fair, they didn't come to the games because obviously I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing as much. I think obviously if I stayed and played to the end of the season, then it would have changed. They would have come to more games. Yeah, unfortunately they're quite selfish. They come to watch me playing, not the team. typical females. But yeah, no, my dad used to come now and again, and he wasn't working away and stuff. So, but yeah, no, it is important obviously having your family on the side. It's nice to have support like that. So yeah, maybe when I'm playing regularly again, they'll start coming to more matches.
Do they live in the area, or do they live, far away?
No, all over by Eastbourne. So
yeah,
quite
a bit of a trek, isn't it? If you're talking every game, then it's pretty much too much for some people to be able to commit to that. Talking of family, before you returned to Bognor, you had a spell at Eastbourne United, where you were player manager for a time, along with your father Jason, who was with you at the helm there. How did that go, and was it a good experience for you?
Brilliant. It was a brilliant experience. I was sort of sitting on the sofa every Saturday watching Saturday after my knee operation, and then I got a call around Christmas time asking me to take the job. They hadn't won a game all season. I think they were on 2 points. I said, "Oh God, it's a bit random." I hadn't really sort of been involved down there or anything. I helped the previous manager out a little bit, but yeah, it's sort of really random. So after thinking about it, I spoke to my dad and asked him if he'd come and help. I said, if you're coming out with me, I'll take it on. And yeah, took it on. I think it was sort of 13, 14 points adrift at the bottom of the league.
Wow.
When we took the job on that, I think it was Christmas, bang on Christmas time, because I think my second game was the Boxing Day game. And yeah, we managed to stay up. Last game of the season, we managed to stay up. We scored an 86-minute winner to win 3-2 and away at Pagham, and yeah, managed to keep the club up, which was nice.
You must see that as a big achievement,
Yeah, it was massive. It was my first, obviously, managerial experience, and to be honest, it's really matured me as a player. Coming back into Bognor this time, I knew how important it was to have good attitude and stuff like that. It really matured me because I didn't realise how much effort and energy it takes to be a non-league manager, especially when you've got another job and stuff like that. It's really taking my hat off to all of them, to be honest, and what they have to deal with, because it is a fair workload.
Would you say the pressure's just as high as if you were managing a Premier League club at that level, even at that level? Do you think the pressure's still very high?
No, I think obviously you've got pressure, but I think when you're at a Premier League level, it's just a different level altogether. You've got 35,000, 40,000 people watching you, and you've got the whole world watching you, really. So I think the pressure's a lot higher, obviously, that level. I think I wouldn't like to say it's easier, but
no.
You can concentrate on. You can really hone down and concentrate on your job, because you've got your sports scientists, your physios, your analysis. You've got everything around you sorted. Whereas when you're non-league, you're running around, you're trying to sort. I mean, especially at county league level, you're trying to sort like kit and training kit, and
so
about the pitch.
You're wearing many hats, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think in that respect, it's a lot harder, but I don't think it's as much pressure as the Premier League.
No, but it was a good experience for you, and obviously working with your dad. How was that? Sort of working with him.
Yeah, it was alright. We used to we had our times. We had our times where obviously we'd get a difference of opinion. We'd have an argument or whatever, but ultimately it worked, and yeah, we got the job done. So that was the main thing, and yeah, it was quite nice to work alongside him, and I think I sort of chucked myself back in the side for the last maybe 5 or 6 games of the season. So it's nice to have someone who's obviously very experienced in management to be on the side and help me out.
Oh, that's great. And obviously going forward, I'm going to ask you later on about managing and coaching and later on in your career. I've always wondered this, Aaron. When you're on the training pitch at Bognor, do you call Robbie or Jack the gaffer or boss or any other such title, or is everyone on first name terms at training?
Yeah, no, it's just Robbie or Blakey, to be honest. And then obviously Jack's Jack.
Yeah, Mr. Bognor.
Yeah, Mr. Bognor himself. So, yeah, no real sort of gaff or anything like that.
No, because I know they do that at the higher up level. Some of them even want to be called sir and all sorts of things. So
some of them demand that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I understand. Obviously, at this level is probably first name terms, and that's it. So now it's time for the sort of quick fire rocks players round. Aaron, we did this with Christian the other day. I switched this up just for players. Instead of direct choices between players like we do with fans, I want you to just give me the first name of the first Bognor player that springs to mind. If you can't give me a Bognor player on any of these, just name a player that first springs to mind for you. Your choices at ready, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Best dressed.
Struggling. We'll go Ben Mendoza.
Most musical.
James Crane.
Most serious.
Amadou.
Biggest appetite.
Harvey White. He's got a membership at McDonald's, that lad.
Best athlete.
Best athlete. Cool. I think James Crane again. I think he put his 5K time up the other day very quick.
Most scruffy.
Cool. Ashton Lee.
Best friend.
Gary Tucky, my little travel partner.
Most reliable.
Cool. Most reliable. Joe Cook.
Most skillful.
Cool, good question. Either go Bradley Lethbridge or Tommy Lee.
Okay. Best crosser. Other than yourself.
Yeah, I was going to throw myself into the hat there. Probably Brad plays out wide. Yeah, delivers a good ball. Yeah.
Best passer.
Jake Flanagan come in. He used the ball very well.
I thought he was a very good player.
Yeah.
He's one for the future.
Yeah, he used the ball very well. Just keeps it simple, breaks up play. Yeah, he was. Yeah, probably Fland.
Best hairdo.
Cool. Again, struggling in that department. Hairdo. We'll go with. That's a tough one, you know. There's not very many good Barnets in that changing room. We'll go with Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, we'll go with Tommy Lee. He's Cliff Richard.
Best beard in the dressing room.
Best beard. Keaton Wood. Farmer.
Best attitude.
Best attitude. Harvey White.
Biggest bookworm.
I don't know. I like to think Dan Smith. Probably he seems quite intelligent. I'm not sure if he reads books. If not, I'll go Keaton Wood.
That's what Christian said. Keaton Wood.
Did he?
Yeah. Most nervous.
Most nervous
before a game, I guess.
Yeah. Who used to get nervous? Trying to think now. The whole team's quite relaxed, really.
That's what Christian said. He said they're very poker-faced. They sort of don't really show if they're nervous. If they are.
No, the whole team's quite relaxed. I think, I don't know, maybe because it was his first time and he's a young lad and he's a top player as well. Maybe Harry Kavanagh?
Yeah.
It was obviously his first experience in men's football, I think. So maybe Cavs, yeah.
Yeah. These are next 6 are quite generic. Best striker.
Best striker at the club now.
Or in your time that you've been with the club.
My time.
Yeah.
Terry Dodd.
Terry Dodd.
I think the year I was there, he scored 35, 36. So he was very good that year.
Went on form very good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Best midfielder.
I've got a few here. Kane Wills.
Yeah.
Kane Wills, an absolute engine. I love playing with Tucky.
Yeah.
Love playing with Tucky. And I think Tommy Lee's got a big future. He's one I really think can go and do quite well.
I think he really shone this season. He's a really, I think he's one for the future.
The lads are saying it's his first time at that level, and he's really, for a young lad as well, very composed on the ball, and obviously he made some mistakes being a young lad, but he's definitely got a lot of ability, and I think he could definitely kick on.
Certainly agree. Best defender.
Craig Robson by a mile.
I thought he was quality, and that year we got to the FA Trophy. I think he was one of the kingpins in the middle there.
Robbo was excellent. Yeah, very good.
Best goalkeeper. We've had some good ones.
We've had some very good goalkeepers. My time, Grant Smith, I think.
Yeah.
And he's obviously gone on to do well, and he's at Lincoln now, so he's done well for himself.
Done very well.
But I have to say, this time in this spell, Amadou was brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. He would have been my man of the season, I think. When you look over the season as a whole, I think he would have been my pick.
He's done very well.
Best coach?
I'm
thinking really on the training pitch, I guess, tactically and everything else.
Do you know what? I loved Robbie's sessions. Loved them. Short, sharp. But for me, Dabba.
Yeah.
Dan Kilpatrick. Yeah, I don't think he's top. And anyone I ever speak to just sings his praises so much. And he used to take me out individually, and he used to go through a few things and ideas and what I could do and stuff like that. And it was brilliant. No,
he's well liked in the whole area, and I think what he does for the Chichester area, and now he's with Chichester, obviously doing a really good job there. So I think he's proving to be a top coach in this area. And the final one is best football mind.
Best football mind. I would say Dougie Tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can pick apart. He knows what he's doing with the ball before he gets it, and even in training on the drills and stuff, he's spot on. I'd say Tucky or Craney.
Yeah,
Craney's got a very good football brain.
No, I think I agree with both of those. I mean, Tucky gets a lot of stick, but I mean he puts in when he's not on the pitch. I think it's noticeable when he's not playing.
Well, we had that little spell. I think he missed. Or maybe he was out of his heel for God knows how long, and I think that's when the form dipped again.
Yeah.
So he's an important player, and he's very intelligent.
No, I totally agree with that. And although I know he gets a lot of stick for not scoring as many goals as some midfielders, but you see most of the goals that we do score, he's one of the starting points for any move. So I think he's one of the key players, really.
Yeah, and that's not his game. He's not like a midfielder that's going to make runs beyond the forward and getting behind. He's not that midfielder. So he's not going to get as many goals as an attacking midfielder as such. No,
I agree with that. Are there any running jokes in the dressing room you would like to share? Any gullible players or tricks being played on others to bolster morale? Any funny stories from your experience as a player?
Well, the Lee brothers, they're funny. They're like the Chuckle brothers, aren't they? You do well to find the brain cell between them both.
do they do any jokes with the other players, or they just like to wind people up?
They're just funny. They're just characters, good characters. Amadou, he's funny. We used to wind him up. A lot. He used to come in so serious on a Saturday before a game, and he'd hate it if he was late. He would hate it, even if Jack and Robbie understood, because obviously he travelled down from London. He wouldn't late all the time, but if he was even 5 minutes late and the traffic's been a nightmare, he would come in so stressed. And some of the lads would just start winding him up about it, even though it wasn't a problem. And he used to sort of bite quite a lot.
Yeah, he seems like a real character. I mean, he's certainly, when we win a game, he's one of the first to sort of, do the fist pumps and really get everybody going. Another character
we had Paul Hinchelwood as well.
Oh yes, I remember Paul. The first time, the fullback.
He was a bit of a joker, quite a character. There's been some good characters.
You need that in the dressing room, though, surely. Sometimes.
Yeah, you do, especially in non-league. I think a good dressing room can get you another 6 to 10 points in a season, to be honest. In tough times when you're miles away from home and you're wet Tuesday night, and it's characters that get you the game. Sometimes it's not always the football ability.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's good to know that the Lee brothers are causing some havoc in the dressing room. Who was the player you looked up to as a child and a budding footballer? Who would you consider as your favourite player to watch growing up?
There was two for me. Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
And Ronaldinho.
Fantastic.
They were just. I tried to base my game off Henry. Well, obviously it wouldn't come close, but tried to as I was growing up, with the pace and the power and the way he just glided past players. And then Ronaldinho, just because he's just a magician. He can do anything with a football, and he would make some games just look like a showcase game.
Yeah,
at that level, it's just it's mind blowing, really.
I see some of the street football videos that he posts, and it's unbelievable some of the tricks he can do on the pitch.
Special. There's not many people in the world that can do what he does.
Unbelievable. What would you consider as your biggest achievement as a footballer so far in your career? It doesn't have to be within Bognor, but your biggest achievement. Would you say that with Eastbourne as a big highlight, or?
Yeah, do you know what? It's one of my biggest, the biggest satisfaction. It was a big achievement. Yeah, that's definitely up there, which is quite weird because it's come as a manager and not a player. Another one would be probably when I played for Wales quite a few years back. And another one for me would be at Lewis. I think at the time they were having money problems and stuff like that. And they chucked sort of quite a lot of the youth lads into the first team. Conference South at the time, and there must have been 6 or 7 of us from the youth team playing Conference South week in, week out. And we managed to stay up last game of the season, which was good. So that was quite a big achievement for the club. That was quite a good one.
Feel good moment in your career.
Yeah.
Sort of put your thing and say, if you did nothing else, that would be one of your.
Yeah. No, I'd like to. Unfortunately, I've lost in the playoffs a couple of times and stuff like that. I haven't won a league yet. So hopefully, I can get back playing regularly wherever that is. Hopefully Bognor, but we'll see. And hopefully I can get a title under my belt.
No, I think that's got to be a goal of a lot of players at this level. You've scored some great goals over the years, like the aforementioned Weymouth strike. What would you consider as your best so far? Please describe it for me, and either in a Bognor shirt or whilst playing elsewhere.
I don't know if you remember. One of my favourites is actually for Bognor, and then I think it was a corner. He's come out. Tucky's tried to hook it back in the box, but he's sort of scuffed it, and it's looped over my head from the edge of the box, and I've volleyed it in. I've got a video of that somewhere. That was quite a good strike because the ball came from quite a height over the shoulder. I managed to just sort of connect with it and it's gone in. Obviously the Weymouth one wasn't bad, but I think for me, and you might not like this, it's the Worthing.
Oh.
We were playing Canvey Island, and I had the ball wide, sort of edge of the box in a wide position, and I saw the keeper just kind of take a step as if I was going to cross it, and at the last minute I just decided to try and sort of put it over his head and try and dink him, and luckily it went into the top corner, but everyone was sort of saying, oh, it was a cross, but it was one of them. I actually meant it, so it was quite a good goal, really.
No, and that's obviously you can remember those goals. I mean, there's some goals that stand out, and that, like that Weymouth one I score, you score. I've seen you score many goals for Bognor already, but that one always sticks out to me. But in your position, obviously you usually play wide right, don't you, as your main position? Do you find easier to cut inside and score goals that way, or go wide and then go around the player? Is it a particular way you find it's easier to score?
I think obviously the Weymouth one, that was when I was on the left, so I cut in onto my right.
That's right. I remember you cut in from the left side and then you went onto your right foot and scored.
Yeah, so I don't know. Normally, if you're wide and you go on the outside, then you're ending up putting in a cross or checking back and giving it to the fullback. You do well sort of to beat the fullback on the outside, then get all the way into the box and score. So yeah, when you cut in, obviously you've got more chance of scoring, but then obviously it's more compact. So yeah, just I don't know. I'd like to think I'm quite versatile. I can go outside or inside, really.
Yeah, I've seen you obviously cross the ball as well, and you've got a good. It's just a shame sometimes we've got nobody there to put it away. But what kinds of music are you into right now? Do you listen to music in the build up to matches?
Yeah, cool. To be honest, I've got quite a few. I normally just listen to like a house playlist or something like that before a game or if I'm driving. Especially we go on for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if I'm driving into a game, it's normally about an hour and 15-minute drive. So just let it play the whole way through rather than keep changing the song. So yeah, probably something like that, like a house sort of playlist or something like that.
Is there any particular artists you like?
Cool artists, yeah, there's a few. Obviously Drake's a big one. I like Fabulous. Sort of like into like R&B and stuff as well.
Oh, that's great. Do you have any special talents away from the football pitch that you'd like to share with the fans? Anything? It could be really weird and wacky. It doesn't have to be anything that.
I don't think I do.
No?
I don't think I do. No. Weird talents? No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Some people can roll their tongue and things like that.
No, I can't do anything like that. I don't know. I don't think I've got cartilage in my ears, so I can bend my ears into any direction.
Really?
Turn them. Yeah.
Wow.
Quite weird. Really random. If that's a special talent, then that would be the one.
What would you say the atmosphere was like in the dressing room at Bognor before you left this season? What was it like? Was it is it positive? Did they think they were going to make the Did they think they were going to make the playoffs? Was there belief there?
Yeah, there was. There was definitely belief there. I think, obviously, from when I come in, it was on the up already. I think the team was already sort of 3-4 games into, I think, maybe a 15-game run or something. The team had done really well, and I mean they went to some places with 12 players and picked up points. The spirits were high, the belief was there. It was just a shame that when we did drop points, it was like, because obviously we weren't in a strong position where we could drop points.
No.
So obviously one game doesn't determine, but you would like to have thought if the season carried on, the team could have put a run together and been there or thereabouts. They weren't a million miles off, but I think, to be honest, realistically, was going to be a push. It was going to be a push. It was always sort of against us.
But as soon as you drop any points, it was going to be more pressure was going to be put on the team.
Yeah. You just run out of games, and especially once you've wasted the first 2 months of the season, you're sort of playing catch up. whole time. So the belief was there. The belief was always there until it was obviously mathematically not possible. But yeah, obviously I left just before, so I'm not sure when that changed. But yeah, when I was certainly there, all the lads were sort of thought we were in with a chance.
I think the morale is a big thing in football teams, and I believe the club has always tried to maintain a good morale, good feel good vibe within, not only within the fans but with the players as well.
Definitely.
I think that's you can see that off the pitch. You can see that the players do get on and everything else.
Yeah, you get some non-league managers just sign people for characters. They may not be the best player. You do get some that sign some players just for their character, just in and around the changing room, and can do a job as a squad player and sort of lift the whole changing room. You do get some managers that look for people like that. Yeah, so it's important.
Robbie Blake seems to be getting the best out of the players that he's got. Would you agree? What would you argue that he hasn't seen the best from you yet?
Look, Robbie's a great coach. He obviously, it was the first time I worked with him. I don't think he knew sort of how well I'd done the first time round. Maybe he may have, but no, he definitely obviously didn't see the best of me. I think he saw glimpses, now and again, and yeah, there was definitely a lot more to come, and that would have just come with game time and sharpness. But yeah, no, we didn't. In a simple answer, no, probably didn't see the best of me this time round. But again, I didn't really do. I've done quite well when I did play. So yeah, it's a bit of a two-way answer.
I think it sort of leads me on to the next one. We kind of spoke about this earlier, but it feels like to me that you didn't get as much game time as you would have liked. But I put that down to fitness as being the reason that we didn't see so much of you, particularly at the beginning of your spell with us. Do you think match fitness was down to the reason you didn't get as much game time as you'd like?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you had good players in my position as well.
Yeah, a lot of competition, isn't there, in the team?
Yeah, there was. You had obviously Brad in there as well. Even when he wasn't having the best of spells, he would kind of still play because he is that player. He can create something out of nothing. He can create that spark, and he's got that ability to just change a game. So yeah, obviously you had the competition with Brad. I think Mason signed literally 2 weeks after I joined, so that kind of knocked me down the pecking order because obviously he had such a good season before, the year before. So automatically that sort of knocked me down again in the pecking order. But yeah, I think by the time I left, I was sort of higher up in that pecking order, which was nice. So yeah, it was probably down to fitness, and it's probably down to the players in my position at the time that they got the ability and they were performing. There
seem to be more players playing in those positions, sort of wide right, wide left, or what are full-back positions, for wing-back positions. There seems to be a lot of players that play at that position, at this level.
Yeah, maybe there is.
I think that's the problem,
I think a manager always wants probably 3 or 4 wingers in the squad. So, especially if you've got four wingers for 2 positions, you're going to have 2 that are going to miss out unless they can play elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a great conundrum to have, I suppose, having so many good players that can play out wide and can cross the ball and can score goals. I mean, it's a position which is, it's one of those golden positions, really. Yeah, that's the thing for manager. It's obviously it's a benefit to them, but then it's also how do you keep all 4 happy, So it's swings and roundabouts. That's fair enough. Do you follow any other sports on the television or through other media? If so, what are your favourite sports and why? Do you know what? I've done some work at the tennis, physio-wise in Eastbourne, for the last couple of years. Since then, I've kind of got into tennis a little bit. I watch like Wimbledon and stuff anyway, but I keep an eye on tennis now and again. Athletics, I was looking forward to the Olympics this year, which obviously isn't going to happen now. I love watching the athletics. I used to run for club and county,
up until I was probably 16, really. It was either football or athletics.
Yeah.
So I like watching that. And then golf. Yeah.
Do you play as well?
No, my friend up here, he's a fairly good golfer, and he's been trying to teach me. So I'm not the best golfer, but I'm improving. It's something by the time I'm sort of mid to late days, I'd like to be able to have a fairly decent handicap and a good hack around the course. But I like watching it on telly anyway, like obviously the Ryder Cup and the tour, different tours and stuff.
I do like golf on TV, but I find it gets a bit confusing when they jump from player to player. I just find that a bit strange, but...
you've got to try and keep up with what player, what shot, what hole, but I mean, the graphics are so good on all sports these days, it kind of tells everything for you, but yeah, you're kind of blipping from player to player. I get what you mean. Yeah.
No, I just found that when I've been watching it. Are you a keen social media user, Aaron? If so, where can fans follow you?
Do you know what? Before this all happened, this COVID situation, I tried to limit it a bit, but since this has happened and I've sort of got a bit more time, I've started using it again a bit more. So yeah, I'm on Twitter, Aaron Hopkinson. I probably got quite a lot of Bogner fans on there already.
Yeah.
And yeah, I use sort of Instagram as well. Same, Aaron Hopkinson on that. So yeah, I've started using it a bit more during this period, really, to be honest.
Is it Twitter mainly you use?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram I use probably the most.
Yeah. I'm more of a Facebooker. I use Facebook more. I don't really use Twitter that much. I've only just started using Instagram literally this past couple of years, so I'm quite new to those two. But Twitter I've had, but Facebook has always been my main one.
Yeah, I've got Facebook, but I don't really check it as often.
It's more for friends, I think, Facebook, rather than with Twitter. It's more sort of trend setting and.
Yeah, I like Twitter for the old. Basically, just my Twitter's full of football, really. Keeping up to date with all the football, really. So
you're now in your late 20s, is that correct?
No.
Yeah. So still relatively young in your career. What kind of goals do you set yourself from now until you retire?
Well, to be honest, I've had such a bad few years of injuries and stuff like that. I'd like to just set myself a target of playing 30 plus games a year for the next 5 years. And then obviously with that comes goals and assists. Obviously the more you play. But yeah, for me personally, I would just like to have a few good seasons, playing 30, 35 plus games, in a good competitive side that's going to do well. And yeah, as I said, with the minutes comes the sharpness, the fitness, the goals, the assists, and then obviously that takes you wherever that takes you. So that'd be my aim, really, just to sort of say stay injury free and just be fit and sharp.
Yeah, no. Obviously, years down the road and after your playing career is complete, would you consider going into management or coaching? Obviously, you've already done that at your age now. Would you leave the game altogether?
I'd probably stay involved to some degree. Obviously, I've had a sniff at management, and I did enjoy it. I definitely think I was too young for it, but I've taken a lot of experience from it, and it's given me a taste of what to expect if I ever do go into management again. But yeah, I'd probably go into management or coaching. Definitely something to think about. Yeah.
Still involved in the game in that way, aren't you? If you carry on doing things like
that,
would you go and do your badges and all that for the coaching badge?
Yeah, I started doing my badges. I stupidly didn't do them when I should have when I was about 18, because I always remember I was meant to go and do. I had my assessment day and I went and played for Lewis. We had like a game away to Kidderminster on the same day.
Right.
I chose to go and play in that rather than do my assessment day. So I stupidly didn't get my badges. So when I done my knee a couple of years, last year before last, I thought, right, now it's time to go and get these sorted. So yeah, I've got a couple done now. So maybe I'll decide to keep progressing the later I go. So yeah.
No, it'd be interesting to see where you go. Obviously you've got some time yet. You've got quite a few years yet until you physically can't do it, or you just decide you don't want to play the game much anymore. What do you love most about our football club at Bognor Regis Town?
Do you know what? Bognor's a great club. Obviously, I've been to various different non-league clubs before, but Bognor's, I don't know, it's just got this feeling. There's nothing better than driving down that lane on a Saturday. You've got great facilities. You've got a good set of lads. The fans are great. You've got that community aspect. Obviously, people like yourself, you're doing stuff like this with the fans and the players, which is great. You've got Ian with the supporter staff doing bits and pieces, and yeah, it's a great community club really. And with it, I have to say, Bognor has got a reputation around the non-league world of being a very good club. I have to say. When you say to people, "Oh, yeah, I've played at Bognor," "Oh, yeah, it's a great club down there. They try and play football." It's always a great. Whereas if you say another club, people, "Oh, that's a bit dodgy down there." Well, Bognor has got a very good reputation, and it is a great club to play for.
No, that's good to know. And I've heard that a lot of other clubs think that we're quite a good place to play at the lower level before you get to a higher level, progress that way. What is the story behind your return to BRTFC this past season? How did it all happen?
Do you know what? Obviously, from the management, so the beginning of this present season, I'd done the first 6 games at Eastbourne United, still as manager.
Yeah.
After the first 6 games, sort of the team were mid-table, and I wasn't really enjoying it. I was trying to sort of focus on getting back playing and stuff like that. So it got to the point where I thought, I don't really want to do this whilst I'm fit now. So I left that. Kingstonian got in touch. I've got quite a good relationship with Hayden, the manager there.
Yeah.
Played for him at Merstham, done well there. So yeah, he got in contact. So I went to Kingstonian actually to start with. But what happened was they was obviously on their FA Cup run. So they was, at the time, it was sort of like they were having like a league game, then an FA Cup, then a league, then an FA Cup. So he was sort of like, I can't really put you into the team for a league game and then drop someone and just chuck them back in. So it got to that. And then it got to a point where there was a few games on the trot and he didn't even really pick me. So I thought, this is a bit like I'm sort of wasting my time here. So I think I spoke to Harvey actually. I think Harvey must have mentioned it to Jack, and then I think Jack got in contact with Hayden, and then Jack asked me to come down playing that Storrington game for the Senior Cup.
Oh yes, yeah.
So that was my first game. Come down, played in that, and then was with, obviously that was it.
Yeah, no, and the rest, as they say, is history. Obviously.
Yeah.
When you look at the grounds you've played at over the years, Aaron, obviously you've played for quite a few clubs in the area, and obviously Merstham were quite, high up, obviously Bognor's level as well. What is the best ground you've played at other than Nywood Lane?
Cool.
Or your favourite ground, I should say.
Yeah. If I can answer this 2 ways. I played at the Den, Millwall. That was good.
Oh wow.
That was nice there. Probably, but if you're gonna talk in our league, you'd probably have to say, cool. I like the Dripping Pan. I like Lewis. It's a unique ground. It's quite, when that's full, that's quite nice to play there. Bognor again's a good ground in the league. Because in the league it's quite weird. You've got some horrendous grounds, and then you've got some quite pleasant places to go. So, probably the Den Millwall is the best ground I've played at.
Oh, that's great. Are you a good dancer? And is there anyone in the dressing room you would say who is a good dancer, like Harvey White or Jack Pearce? And what's your go-to dance move?
Actually, last question, probably the Annex was probably the best ground I've played at.
Annex, of course.
Annex, played there for Bognor in that final. So, that's probably the best, actually, to be fair.
No.
Dancers, cool. Amadou loves a jig. Amadou loves a little jig. He used to have at Merston, when we used to win games, we used to have a little dance that he used to do.
Celebration dance.
Yeah, it didn't come out as much at Bognor, but he has a go. Harvey, I know, used to have one at Bognor every time he used to win a game. I used to get sent videos of that all the time. We only really had one team night out. Ashton Lee thinks he can dance. Probably, I don't know, Crane is quite funny. He would just dance to music which just didn't suit him whatsoever. Just gun fingers in the air, like nodding his head. Quite funny. But in regards to actual good dancers, it's quite hard to say, really.
What would be your go-to dance move if you had to go on the dance floor?
Oh God.
I don't even know the names of them.
No. I don't know. Just a little movement, just a little jig. Keep it cool.
Yeah.
Keep it cool. Yeah.
Keep it reserved. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you support Derby County. Is that correct?
Yes.
What's the story behind you supporting the Rams?
Do you know what? It's a weird one. I've got no family from there. Nothing at all like that. My dad obviously supports them, so I followed him. But he tells me the reason he supports Derby is because he went to a game when he was younger with his family, and apparently it was Arsenal Derby. I think I got this right. And somehow Derby won.
Yeah.
So from that day, he's like, I'll support Derby. I don't know how, really random, but yeah. So,
do you ever get to go and see them live or anything at all?
Do you know what? I've been, now and again. Obviously, it's hard when you got football on a Saturday. But yeah, I've been to watch them now and again, and quite funny really. Last time I was at Bognor, I ended up going to Chesterfield on trial, and there was a lad I know from Derby.
Yeah.
I've stayed in contact with him since, and sometimes he sorts me out some tickets, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try and get up there when I can. But yeah, very rarely, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember. I think was it Georgie Kincladze. I remember him being on back in the day when they were in the Premier League. Yeah,
Kincladze. He's had some great. I've been mascot twice, which is quite good. Which is a good experience. So we've had some good players over the years. Just a shame. I think last year we ruined our chance. We had probably the best squad we've had in years. Lampard as manager, players like Mason Mount, Tamori, Harry Wilson, and then obviously we lost in the playoff final to Villa.
Yeah.
And then this year we've been just a bang mid-table side really. So I'm not sure we'll get that opportunity again.
It's only a matter of time. I think clubs like that and clubs like Leeds United, I think eventually we'll get back up there. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I think Leeds are a bit more advanced than Derby, if I'm honest. I think they've got a very good squad this year. I think they probably would have got promoted this year if the league carried on.
Yes, it's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. What are your views on, do you think things will, I think they're still undecided, aren't they, on the Premier League? But I don't know what's happening with all the other league clubs.
No, do you know what? There's so many rumours thrown about. There's so many rumours on dates and different things that's going on. And I think my mate who I live with, he got a text the other day saying they might do the top 8 in like a round robin tournament. Like, there's so many different like conspiracies flying around on how to do it. So I'm not really sure what will happen, but I think obviously football's not really important at the moment, but I think once this is all dealt with, then I don't know. I really don't know what will happen.
No.
I personally think they'll go back in a few weeks, and they will finish the season behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's what
I personally think will happen.
That's another discussion going on at the moment, isn't it? Whether they just get the games out of the way, but behind closed doors. Probably be televised in some way, I expect, but. I get because there's so much money involved at that level that they might have to get them done. Yeah,
I think obviously they'll play sort of two games a week, churn the season out, and then they'll have like a 2-3 week break, and then I think they'll just go again. That's what I personally think will happen there. Try and start the season as close to as normal as they can, and probably scrap things like the Carabao Cup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yet to be seen, of course. What are the nastiest injuries you've had over the years? You mentioned a knee problem before. When you return after an injury, are you conscious of it all the time, or does it not affect your game?
Yeah, I've broke my foot twice. And to be honest, I still get issues with it now.
Yeah?
Which is not great. I'm not sure if it's something that will ever go. Which is not great. It rarely comes back, but when it does, it's very painful. And I think probably the worst one's got to be my ACL. The noise of that when that snapped and the pain was horrible, and the recovery and rehab from it was very long.
So you would say that it does affect you even when you've come back and recovered? Would you say that it is something that affects you later on when you're mentally?
Yeah,
I think you're on the pitch.
I think I always remember my first game back. I come on and I got smashed within about 2 minutes. And I expected to be hurt, and I got back up. I was like, "Oh, I'm okay."
Yeah.
And then I think you just build your confidence with. It's hard at the non-league level because obviously if you do something like that at Premier League level, you've got your full-time treatment, you've got your protocols to come back and stuff like that, and then obviously you can be phased in through sort of 23 games and stuff like that, and build it up. Whereas non-league, you kind of get over an injury and you're on the bench or maybe even chucked straight back in,
even if you're not 100% fit.
Yeah, that's what can happen at non-league. So it takes time, but I would say now I'm not that conscious of it. Knee still swells up after a game now and again, but nothing too bad, and that's the only time I really think about it, really.
With your broken foot, was that your main foot or was that the other foot?
No, it was the other foot.
But that affects it just as much as...
Yeah, I actually done that in my first spell for Bognor. We played Maidstone away.
Yeah.
It was a day we won 2-1. I think Scott Chamberlain and Dan Thompson scored. That was a good day, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I got injured. I literally just jumped for the ball and just felt my foot crunch underneath me, and that was my season done.
Yeah.
And then I sort of played half hour in the playoffs at Lowestoft.
Yeah.
And I only lasted half hour before I had to come off. And then that was sort of my season done. And then obviously it was confirmed after that I had the broken foot. So I didn't actually know at the time because it didn't show on an X-ray. It was only when I had an MRI there was a stress fracture in my metatarsals that showed.
Yeah. So it's not always the bone or the cartilage, it's sometimes the nerves or anything in the area, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the issue I've got at the moment is a neural problem, yeah. I think the bone's recovered, it's just some of the nerves around in the foot.
Yeah, no. I think whenever you played, Aaron, your pace got Bognor on the front foot, but what would you consider as your best abilities on the pitch to help the team?
I'd like to think I'm a ball carrier and get there and can help relieve pressure off the team.
Yeah.
Carry the ball up the pitch and get us up the pitch. Try and relieve a bit of pressure off the back five. My pace. Probably delivery. I'd like to think I've got a good delivery of the ball, good cross of the ball. And I think as I've got older as well, just probably game management. Helping the lads around, and I think before when I was at Bognor and I was young, when I was a winger, I'd probably just stay wide and not really tell when times were tough and tuck in. Whereas now, I think I'd probably tuck in and sort of try and help the lads around me and be compact and try and hold a lead. So maybe I've just matured as a player on the pitch as well and can help the players around me.
Would you say now that you're older, you're a bit more of a leader on the pitch as well?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I helped some of the younger lads in my last spell. I'd always try and give them advice, like Flinty and Brad and people like that, and Cavs, and try and help them give them advice. So especially with the experience of management as well.
Yeah.
But also, I'd try and sort of feed them the right information and try and help them. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And did you learn a lot from Robbie Blake in training? He seems like a genuine character and wants the club to succeed on the pitch.
Yeah, no, he's as I said, he's a good guy, top coach, and he put some good sessions on, really good sessions on. Took me a while to get up to speed on some of them, to be honest. But yeah, short, sharp sessions, and he's on. I think being an ex-player, he's on the players' level as well, and understands it's non-league football, and we don't want to be in training for 2.5 hours in an evening when you've been all day at work. He's short and sharp, gets the point across, and I think the players will respect that.
Yeah, no, and I think because he's played at that level of the game, they all look up to him in a way as well.
Yeah, definitely. I used to join in training now and again, and love shooting. And yeah, just the way he strikes the ball is you can see even with trainers on, the way he strikes the ball, you can see obviously got great technique and played top level.
I joke with him sometimes. I say you should be on the pitch, Robbie. Sometimes, if we're struggling, we need that last 10 minutes, last 5 minutes. Bring Robbie Blake on, he can score. To be
fair, and chuck him off a free kick.
Yeah. No, that's great. Are you already thinking about next season? Obviously, it's been cut short this year. Are you already thinking ahead to next season? Obviously, you've got this, 6 months.
Yeah.
Play. Is that all football? You can't play at all, or? Yeah,
no, it's a blanket ban. So yeah, not allowed to be involved, coach, manage, or play in any football. So to be honest, I've not really thought about it. The ban's due to end in October.
Yeah.
When the season starts, we don't know. I've had a couple of calls from different clubs, but to be honest, I'm not too fussed about even thinking about next season yet. It's such a long way off for me, anyway. So I stay fit, tick over, and then as the time gets closer, I'll push it a bit more, and then hopefully be fit and sharp and ready to go somewhere. Whether Jack will have me back, I don't know. No. We'll just have to see.
If he asks you, gives you the call, or Robbie gives you the call, would you consider coming back?
Yeah. I'll definitely come back. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely come back.
Obviously, it's all up in the air at the moment. We don't know quite when things are going to get back to normal again. And obviously, clubs have taken a big hit with no matches being on, no revenue coming in. There's bound to be a bit of a crunch time for all clubs in at this level, particularly.
Yeah, I think it'll be a more level playing field with majority.
Yeah.
And you'll find players will go to play for clubs that they actually want to go and play for.
Yeah.
Not for the money, because obviously I don't think many clubs will be chucking out money. But then you always get one or two every year that have just got like a cash cow, and I think they're the ones that do well. If you've got 20 teams in the league, 19 of them are all similar, there's always going to be one or two that throws the money at it and then should go on to win the league. So yeah, I think this whole thing, as I say, it will change the way the world looks at things, and just a small segment of that is non-league football. I think clubs have to watch their money a bit better than what they do, and players might be able to ask for some silly amounts of money that they do, because it's going to put the club at risk. So yeah, I think it will change non-league football, and just from my days, from the first time round at Bognor to the second time, the amount of money in the league, even though the league I think was a lot stronger back then, you've probably got players on more money, not just at Bognor necessarily, but players in the league on more money now than 5-6 years ago. And I think it was this whole thing's just going to sort of put a stop to that.
Yeah, I hope so, because obviously a lot of clubs have gone into bankruptcy and all sorts of things happening. I mean, you see what happened at Bury, Bury club at that stage, and they got hit. Obviously, I think would you say it's all player contracts that is really sort of affecting things, even at this level?
I think you'll probably get less contracts handed out.
Yeah,
definitely. I think because obviously you've got a commitment then as a club to pay that player, and even if you want to get rid of that player and you don't want to go, you still got to pay him. So I definitely think clubs will be a bit wary of that, and I don't think we'll see as many contracts handed out. So yeah, I think that will obviously affect. And I think the other thing as well, I think it might even affect some of the lads at this level that have done well this year and potentially looking at getting league moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can they afford to bring in a young lad and pay him and sort him out accommodation and stuff like that?
Yeah, because I don't think
that might change. Yeah, that might change. So
yeah, I think a lot of people don't take into account the expenses that players have to get paid as well, because they're having to travel. If they're having to travel a long way and they're having to stay somewhere, they've got to pay extra. They've got to pay that extra money as well. Yeah,
exactly. You've got the club. You've got, especially a young lad. You've got to expect to put him up or help him out with accommodation and stuff like that, especially if it's far away. So that's probably going to affect some young lads getting moved into sort of lower league clubs and stuff like that as well. So
it'd be interesting to see what happens with the whole thing and the whole restart really of the...
it'd be quite a weird one, I think.
Last question then, Aaron, to end this interview at this time. In my view, the fans are crucial to the running of a club our size. What would be your message to Bognor fans at this time?
Stay with the club, stay positive. This period isn't going to last forever. It won't be long before we're back at Norwood Lane watching the lads play. And yeah, just stay safe, look after yourself, look after your family, try and stay positive, mentally strong, and just ride the storm really, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to last forever, and it'll be something you look back in years to come when you're at Bognor and think, oh, that awful time I was at home, and you'll be standing in the stands or watching a game, and you'll be back where, doing what you love doing. So yeah, just to remain positive really.
Yeah, that's the way forward, and I really appreciate your time today, Aaron. Many thanks for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you playing more games for the Rocks, hopefully.
Hopefully, Liam. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully back with us after we get back to normal. I really appreciate you spending the time to tell more fans about you and your career. Hopefully, we will see you again soon in the green and white shirt. Thank you for your efforts on the pitch and for representing the Green Army. If you'd like, I'd like to catch up with you at some point later down the line. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, of course, it's absolutely fine. It's a good thing what you're doing, so I'm happy to support it in any way I can.
No, that's great. I must add a special thanks to Kenneth Wood for helping me to organise this interview. Thanks, mate. Again, a big thanks to Rocks winger Aaron Hopkinson for being my guest today, and getting the chance to chat with him was a great experience for me, and I appreciate him taking the time. If you'd like to get your say in an upcoming episode of On the Rocks, then please contact me on Twitter at Liam Goodley, or see me on game days, whenever that will be. If your business would like to sponsor our podcast, then please contact David Robertson to talk you through the options. Get your company mentioned on the air with us every episode. This has been an On the Rocks production, brought to you by the BRTFC Supporters Club. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. Up the Rocks.